Okay guys, so we have started the live stream and we're just gonna wait for a bit. We want people to join in and because we don't want anyone to miss anything. So stay tuned, be with us, and we will be starting in a short time. And you also have a chat option right besides the broadcast room, and you can talk to us right there if you have any questions.
So hi guys, this is Sid and he is Ifti, and please do pop up your questions. We would be really happy to help you out. Let's wait. Okay, so Cool Humanoid says hello. Hi, how are you?
So all the people, all the guys who are here, can you guys say hello in the chat? You guys can put in the chat where you guys are from, and then you can also put in your questions and we will be here to answer you.
Yeah, we're really happy to speak with all of you, and don't get afraid. We won't, get too serious with it. So you can just, oh, there's Ross. Hello from India. Hi Ross, how are you? Doing good.
So we might wait until 7:05 and then we can start at 7:05. So we might just wait for 4 minutes, let more people join in, and then we will start. Meanwhile, the people who are here, they can say hello to us in the chat. They can tell us where they're from and have some good chat. We just have 3 more minutes to go.
Yeah,
I hope you guys are not making you wait
for too
for a
long.
lot.
Yeah.
So Sid, this is
Yeah.
your first webinar.
So is it.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Do you feel good?
I feel good.
Wow. Okay, I can see the nervousness.
No.
No. Oh, I see it. It was a very fast reply. I mean, good job.
Okay guys, so
Yeah, let's start.
should we start? Sid, what do you say, Sid?
I think we can wait for a couple of minutes. 7:05. Yeah,
Okay, we
3
have
more minutes.
3 more minutes. That's not a long time.
Yeah.
So
So if there are any other questions, the viewers can still ask us. It's not necessary that we wait for them to ask later. Oh, we have. Brave Mind says hello. Hello, Brave Mind. Happy Creature also says hi. How you guys doing? And also we would request if you could change your username to, so that we could recognize by your name. It's really cool to have such names, but if you could put your real names, it would be really helpful.
it would be helpful for us, and yeah, because we want to call you by your real names.
Yeah, and
So-
it's totally a casual and not a serious conversation, so you can be cool and relaxed at all times. So
Yeah, 2 more
Okay.
minutes to go.
so
Your own chat here.
mhm.
So guys, almost there. I think, yeah, this is the last minute.
Yeah.
I don't like to wait. Do you guys like to wait? I am bad at waiting. So we are almost there. We're just gonna start in a minute. So before starting, you guys can say hello in the chat. You guys can tell us where you are from, and you guys can ask us all your questions in the chat, and we will be here to answer you. So, moving on. Sid, should we start?
Yes, let's
Yeah.
start.
So
All right. So good evening, guys. I'm Sid, and he is Ifti. We will be doing a live webinar, and we are here to help you out. So, who is this webinar for? This webinar is for people who have just arrived to Ireland or who are planning to come to Ireland. During this webinar, we'll be discussing the types of visas, the procedure for renting a house, and we'll be really happy to answer all the questions that you have. And also by the end of this webinar, you will be gaining a lot of information about the types of visas as well as the procedure for renting a home in Ireland. So you will be experts by the end of this webinar. So I'll show you that for sure. So welcome to Babylon. Babylon is a website, a multicultural site which helps people with all the information that they have in their base with the recent happenings around Ireland, the things to do and the places to visit. And we're very excited to be a part of this webinar so that we can speak to all of you. And also, if you aren't aware of Babylon, it has a web radio where we integrate music, and we build a relationship based on that, because music is something which is a language which is spoken, which everyone does understand. It's not like something that requires a lot of skills. It's a hobby, it's for passion and everything.
yeah.
Yes. So who exactly is Babylon? Babylon is a website. It has its own web radio. It is a multicultural community, so it has people from different nationalities. It has that trust and that authenticity, and also the base to link people very effectively and for long terms. We are event organizers. We host events as well, and to entertain people and to build this trust that Babylon actually is here to assist all of you. So what is the mission of Babylon? Babylon basically helps the viewers with providing all the information about radio shows, events, beautiful places to visit, happenings, happening activities during the week, weekends, and the places to visit. The vision of Babylon is to be recognized by all non-Irish people around the globe, as well as within Ireland, as a helpful community, so that everyone can be served with a purpose and they get attracted and they are a part of Babylon. So moving to Ireland is the first topic that would be covered during this webinar, and it would be covered by Ifti. So here you go, Ifti.
So before we moving to Ireland, you told our viewers about Babylon. So I'll just take them to the Babylon website. I'll just tell them a bit about our website. So our website is babylonradio.com. Just like Sid told you guys, we have information about on our website about living in Ireland. We have information about visas, stamps, housing. We have information about visiting, things to do when you are here, things to do before coming here. You guys can see it on your screen, and then things to do while you are in Ireland. And then you have your live radio here. You can listen to music. We play music from all around the world, and you will surely find something in there that you will like. So go to our website, look around, and I'll just moving to Ireland. So moving from one country to another country is always a complex topic, and it involves lots of things, but one of the most important things is the visas, and we are going to talk about visas specifically in this webinar. So before moving to Ireland, the first thing you guys need to know is that, do you need a visa? Because people who are from European Union countries, they don't need a visa to visit or come to Ireland, but people who are not from the European Union countries, they might need a visa. So once you have determined that you need a visa, you need to figure out which visa do you need, so based on why you are coming to Ireland, you will apply for either a C-type visa, which is a short stay visa, or you can apply for a D-type visa, which is a long stay visa. So C-type visa basically deals with tourist visas, or if you're coming to Ireland to visit an event, or if you're coming to Ireland for a meeting. So all the visas that deals with a duration of less than 90 days comes under the short stay C-type visas. And if you are coming to Ireland to live for a longer time, to live longer than 90 days, you will have to apply for a long-term D-type visa. When you apply for a D-type visa, if your visa gets approved and when you move to Ireland, you have to register with the immigration department after moving to Ireland. And when you register with the immigration department, you will be issued an IRP or a GNIB card, and the immigration officer will put a stamp on your passport, and these stamps determine the activities that you can do in Ireland and the activities that you cannot do in Ireland. But before moving on to stamps, I will just take you guys to our website and I'll just show you where we have all the information about stamps and visas. So if we go to living in Ireland, stamps and visas, we have a whole page on how to apply for Irish visas and stamps. And meanwhile, if you guys have any question, actually we got questions here.
Interesting.
So Maytri is asking, short time visa, is the process same as before? Well, there are a few changes in the process due to the COVID-19, but embassies are back to working normally. So the process is same as before. There are a few complexities around the green list. So in Ireland, we have a thing called green list. So people who are coming from the countries which are in green list, they do not need to quarantine after reaching Ireland, but people who are coming from countries which are not in green list, they have to quarantine for 14 days, and then after 14 days they can do whatever they want. But yeah, process is same, it's just the complexity around the quarantine and flights. So moving forward, I'm just gonna continue my presentation. So I'm gonna move forward to the stamps. And just a point to note, stamps are only for the people who are here on the long stay D visa. If you're on a short stay D visa, you don't need to care about the stamps. So the first stamp that I am going to talk about is the stamp 0. So the people who have the permission to retire in Ireland or who have the permission to live independently in Ireland, they get a stamp 0. Or people who are also here, who are coming here to work for a short time for a company, they also get a stamp 0. There are few permissions around stamp 0. The people who are on stamp 0, as in to retire here or to live independently, they cannot engage in work and they cannot engage in the business and they cannot have access to any of the public fundings. The next stamp we have is the stamp 1. So different types of stamp 1 deals around the work permits. So if you have the permission to work in Ireland, you will get a stamp 1. If you have a permission, if you are here on a critical skills employment permit, you still get a stamp 1. People who have stamp 1, they can work, they can engage in business depending on certain conditions, but they cannot access the public funding. And meanwhile, before moving on, I'll just show you the stamp section on our website where there is a detailed information around the stamps.
And also, before you move on, we've received a very interesting question.
Oh.
It's from Pondering Self. It says, "Hi, I am a digital marketing professional with 6 years of experience. What visa should I apply for if I want to get a permanent residency?" All right, that's a very interesting question.
I will talk around that. Pondering Self. So the thing with if you can secure a job in Ireland from your own country or wherever you are, that company, you can apply for a work permit which is stamp 1 based on that job. But before that, you have to apply for a long stay D visa which will get approved based on your employment letter, employment offer, and once you are here, you will register with the immigration department and a stamp 1 will be placed on your passport. In terms of permanent residency, if your profession falls under the critical skills of professions, critical skills employment professions, you will get a stamp 1 for 2 years, and after the 2 years you will get a stamp 4, which is a temporary residency. And after staying in Ireland for 5 years on a temporary residency, you can apply for a permanent residency or the citizenship. If your profession does not fall under the list of critical skills employment, you will get a normal stamp 1, which is a work permit, and after staying on the work permit for 5 years you can apply for a stamp 4, which is a temporary residency, and being on stamp 4 for 5 years you can apply for a permanent residency or the citizenship. I hope I've answered your question. If you have more question or if anything is unclear, you can put a question in here, or you can refer to our page on our website that I am just showing you guys here, how to apply for an Irish visa and the stamp system. So we have an extensive information over here, all the visas, all the fees and different types of visas, different stamps, stamp 0, stamp 1. So I was at stamp 1. I am just gonna move ahead with my stamps. So the next stamp I'm going to talk about is stamp 1A. Stamp 1A specifically deals with the accountants, people who are in Ireland on a paid accountancy training. They get stamp 1. So people who are on stamp 1 or who have stamp 1, they cannot engage in any other work other than the accountancy. They cannot engage in a business, and they don't have any access to the public funding. And then we have stamp 1G. Stamp 1G basically deals with two types of individuals. The first one are the students who are here on the stamp 2 or the 2A. When they graduate their third level institutes, they get a stamp 1G. So stamp 1G basically means stamp 1 for the graduates. That's why there's a G in there. And while on stamp 1G, you can work full time and you can seek employment. You can look for better jobs. And so after graduating your level 8 degree, you get stamp 1G for 2 years, and if you want to stay in Ireland for more than 2 years, you will have to look for work, and when you get a work, you can apply for stamp 1. And the second type of individuals that get stamp 1G are the spouse of the people who are in Ireland on a critical skills permit. So in case of an example, someone asked a question around the digital marketing. So for example, if you are working in Ireland and you have a critical skills permit and you want to call your spouse here, your spouse will get a stamp 1G. And the next stamp we have here is stamp 2 and stamp 2A. So stamp 2 basically deals with the students. So all the students who get admission in the degree program who are in the interim list of eligible programs, they get a stamp 2. While you are on stamp 2, you can work for 20 hours during your college days, and you can work for 40 hours when you are on holidays. And the people who get admission in a degree which is in a course which is not in interim list of eligible programs, they get a stamp 2A. The difference between stamp 2 and stamp 2A is that people who are on stamp 2A, they cannot work at all, and both the people who have stamp 2 and stamp 2A, they cannot have any access to the public funding. And I'm just gonna show you where we have all this information on our website, and then I'll check if anyone has asked us any questions. So we have information about stamp 1, 1A, 1G, and then we have stamp 2 and stamp 2A over here. So you can have like a detailed information on our website. We have also linked these stamps to the official INIS website. So if you just click over here, it will take you to the official INIS website where you can have the official detailed information. So I'm just gonna check if we have any questions here. So happy creature, that is a good question. So if you are planning to do a master's, a postgraduate degree in Ireland, you will apply for a stamp D visa, and when you reach Ireland, you will get a stamp 2, and you will get a stamp 2 for duration of your course. The master's degree in Ireland is usually for 1 year, so you will get a stamp 2 for 1 year, and when you are graduated, when you have completed your master, then you can apply for a stamp 1G, and you will get stamp 1G for 2 years. You will initially get it for 1 year, and you can renew it for another year. So that's total of 2 years on 1G, and total of around 1 year the duration of your course on stamp 2. And if you have any more question around that, you can just put it in the chat and I will be happy to answer you. And I will just move on to my presentation. So the next stamp we have is the stamp 3. So if you are in Ireland to volunteer for a non-profit organization, or if you are in Ireland as a minister of religion, you get a stamp 3. People who are on stamp 3, they cannot engage in any work, they cannot engage in any business, and they don't have any access to any public fundings. The next stamp we have here is stamp 4. So stamp 4 is basically the temporary residency. People who are in Ireland on stamp 1, they have to work permit, general work permit. If they stay in general work permit for 5 years, they get a stamp 4. People who have critical skills permit, if they stay in critical skills permit for 2 years, they can apply for a stamp 4. While you are on stamp 4, you can work without a work permit, you can engage in business, and you have access to public funding to a certain level. And after staying on stamp 4 for 5 years, you can apply for the citizenship, which is the Irish passport. And the last two stamps we have here is stamp 5 and stamp 6. Stamp 5 basically deals with the people who have a permission to stay in Ireland for an indefinite amount of time without any limit on time. Stamp 5 do not have any expiry date in itself, but the expiry date of stamp 5 is the expiry date of the passport on which it is placed. And the people who are here on stamp 5, they can work here, they can engage in business, and they have a certain level of access to the public funds. And the last stamp we have is the stamp 6. So stamp 6 basically deals with the individuals who are dual nationals. So if someone has an Irish nationality and some other nationality as well, and they can get a stamp on their non-Irish passport, stamp 6, which indicates that they are a dual national. So this is where our stamp section concludes. I am going to show you where you can find all this information on our website. We have detailed information over here. So if you guys can see, I am scrolling on stamp 2. We have stamp 3, information about stamp 3 here. We have information about stamp 4 here. One thing I forget to mention about stamp 4 is people who are the spouse of the Irish nationals, they also get a stamp 4 directly. And we have information about stamp 5 here, and then we have information about stamp 6. And I will just see if someone has asked any questions. If you guys have any questions, or if anything is unclear, you guys can just put in your question in the chat, and we will be happy to help you. We'll be happy to guide you around it. Moving on, the next section we are going to cover in this webinar is around living in Ireland. And in living in Ireland, we are going to talk specifically about renting a home in Ireland. So Synth will just take over from here.
Sure. So before we move on, also I would like to see if people have some questions, because it's highly possible that people might have questions, and we're very happy to answer them about the different types of stamps. So as of now, there aren't any questions. So I'm just going to start with living in Ireland. So speaking about living in Ireland, there are two key sections that we are focusing on. First of all, Ireland is a place where, when it comes to renting, it has different types of houses. So it has beach houses, it has apartments, and also different types of countryside houses. So it depends on the person's choice, preference, what he or she might like to go for. So when it comes to renting, the rent in Ireland is at times differentiated when it comes towards Dublin and the other countries, cities. So Dublin is more expensive because it is known for the IT hub. There are various IT headquarters such as Facebook and Google who have their base set up in Dublin, but at the same time there are different amenities and opportunities for people to go to work, and it's close by. Now if you look for houses somewhere outside, there are different perks to that. So people really love to go for that type of house which is quite far, and they love the view of the house and so on. So it depends on all of that, on all those things. There are different areas, different portals where one can look for houses. So there are different portals such as the online portal known as the daft.ai, where people can go and use the application to look for houses and their type of properties, their type of house that they're looking for, and they could also get the exact property as per what their preferences is on. So they can even look on social media platforms such as Facebook and Instagram, and once they get on through that, I mean, it's really very easy, and we obviously Babylon is also there to guide them through to cover those aspects. Then moving on, we have the types of accommodations.
Sid, why don't we show them the section on our website before moving on?
Why not? That is a very good
information
idea. That is
portals.
So what I'm going to do is I will be sending you a link on the chat. Okay, so that link basically speaks about the process of renting a house in Ireland. What are the types of things that one needs to focus on, and what do they need to do in order to get the house booked, and etc.
Yep, and I am just going to show you the same page here on your screens. So if you go to our website and you go to housing, we have a section housing, and you can go to renting in Ireland, and we have our detailed information over here on this page. It's just taking some time to load for some reasons, but yeah, it has loaded. Lucky day. So we have a page, renting in Ireland, all the info you need to know. Sid just talked about different portals, online portals, and we have the details about them here. You guys can look on social media, Facebook groups. We have housing websites like Daft and Roomster. We have newspaper ads, and if you are coming here as a student, your college and university, they also recommend some places. They also recommend some places to you. So you guys can visit this page, have a good look around. It has all the detailed information, and I'll just hand it back to Sid so he can.
Sure. So moving on to living in Ireland, we have the types of documents that would be required. So we would need, there's a need for an employee reference, the ID such as your passport for verification, and the bank details and all of that sort. So once you get finalized with that, there are types of accommodations that one could look for. So there's a student accommodation, there's a private house, and a private apartment. As I had mentioned, Dublin is a place where it has a lot to offer when it comes to renting. So these are the available options, and there are various other types of factors that one should consider. So the first one is budget, of course, because everyone has a set budget, and no one would just book a property or a house without finalizing on the budget that they are looking forward for. So the one after budget is the location. So some people, as I had mentioned earlier, are looking for beach cottages, or someone's looking for a house in a city, or someone is looking for a country house. So the location is really important for them, and the types of facilities. So when we speak about facilities, do you know about this, that there is an energy rating meter on every property, so they can get a scale of A to G. So
that's interesting. I did not know about it.
So that's why
I am listening as well. You have to tell me as well.
That is really good. So basically, that thing is about that if you have an A scale, it means that there are more chances that the electricity is going to be high. So obviously, by the end of the month, you will be paying your rent, but the electricity charges would be high. So if you get a G, that's the least. So it depends.
So it is more like buying an appliance. If you buy an appliance, you have an energy rating on it.
Exactly.
If it's an A rated appliance, which means it is more electricity efficient, which actually means that your electricity bill will be lower. And if it's the G rated, that's the lowest rated, which means that it is the least energy efficient house. Exactly. And your bill will be high. But that's an interesting point to note when you are going to rent a place.
And just after that, those are the facilities that one needs to know, and that's why we're here for. And most importantly, we need to know about the things that are really important, such as the rights. So tenants do have rights.
But Sid, let's see if we have any questions before that.
Sure. We can even do that. So for the questions, we have. Okay, I think We are quite straightforward, and people are getting entertained and really eager to know more about it. So we haven't received any questions.
There is a question by Maytri. The person is asking, are online portals safe?
Okay, so online portals are safe, Maitri. That's a very good question, but at times you need to be careful, because when you go to see a property or when you go for a viewing, I mean, it's important that when you use online portals, do make sure that the property is genuine. There is someone who's supposed to show you the house, who has you can make sure that, like, when you go and see the house for the first time, you can have a hint that this property looks good. Okay, he has the owner has the keys, he's showing you all the rooms, everything is working, and it's actually a property. It's not just where you can just see everything online on social media, or you just talk, or you just finalize a deal over the phone. You need to physically go and see and make sure that all these things are safe, basically. So everything requires all of that. At the same time, we would be covering other sections about this, like online portals. Online portals are safe, but as I had mentioned, you need to keep a track of all these things, that there is someone who's supposed to show you, and that person even needs to have the proper documents which he would be asking you for. And that's the way, how online portals are supposed to be safe.
So just move to our presentation, Sid.
Yeah. So speaking about the rights of a tenant, there are various rights. So right to a clean property, so that when you go and you don't arrive into a property which is really dirty and it's not tidy. There's a right to privacy. So for example, if your landlord is supposed to visit you and he would need your permission, he cannot just barge inside the house.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so there are certain rules which are formed by the government, and there's a rent book, so to keep a track that you've paid all the rents, so that you have everything in writing. And also there's an advance notice of termination. No one can just execute the contract. There are certain steps that need to be followed. Now this is the section, Maitri, which she had asked about whether it's safe or not. So there are various other sections, such as there are various online scams that happen. And when we speak about online scams, a person needs to physically go and view the property. Apart from that, the landlord would provide you with an agreement. It's not something where you can just go without any paperwork and finalize a deal and just start staying in the house. Everything needs to be on paper as a proof, and those are the ethics that one needs to follow for the property. And you have to always also make sure that you use credit card. You don't pay your rent by cash. It's safer that way. And there are other type of documents, but before I move on to that, I'll just have a quick look on the if we have any questions regarding this. Shall we? Okay, so Happy Creature has a question, as well as Pondering Self. Okay, so we start with Pondering Self. Hi from India. Does Ireland have a skilled occupation list like other countries for PR?
So
yes.
I think that's a question for me.
Yeah.
Yes, Ireland have a list of critical skills. Different professions fall under the critical skills, like professions that come under the IT, professions that come under the business development. So there is a safe list, and they keep on changing in the list, but yeah, we have a list. And if your profession falls under the critical skills list, you will get a critical skills work permit. The difference between a normal work permit and a critical skills permit is you will get a stamp 4 after staying in a critical skills permit for 2 years, while if you are on a general work permit, you will have to stay in a general work permit for 5 years, and then you can apply for a stamp 5. I will just put a link in the chat for the list of critical skills. You can check the link on our website, and I hope it will clear your doubts about it. And yep, Sid.
Okay, so there's one more question which says, shall we go through agent or directly connected to landlord? So that's a very good question. You could be connected to an agent or a landlord. Both are safe, but we just need to make sure about one thing which I had mentioned earlier. It's about the paperwork. So nothing could be done without a paperwork. It needs to be genuine, and you need to be assured that whether you book through an agent or through a landlord, you have the right paperwork. He's asking you for the right documents. Also that when he's asking you for a deposit or a rent, he has a proper Irish bank account. It's not some other country's bank account, so that you might feel that there is something fishy going on here. So to avoid all those situations, you need to keep a track of these. And also, if you go through our website, I would just share that with you. Going through our website, we have showed the journey as to what are the steps and what to do basically in order to book the house, and how to overcome such or tackle such issues in the future. And that's really it's going to help each and every one of you. So I'll also just share the link of that for you.
I will just put the link in chat.
All right.
So I'm just gonna put this link in the chat. It is a detailed article on how to approach the accommodation when it comes to renting, just like Sid.
So this article is the perfect journey for each and every one of you to guide you towards a direction. And believe me, Dublin is a beautiful place, like every one of you know about it, and we are happy to help you out in each and every way. And now I shall just wait for a few more questions regarding the same.
Yep. So we still have time to take some
Yes.
questions. We
So-
are gonna be here till 7:45,
Yeah.
and we can take questions if you guys have any questions. Meanwhile, I'll just show you around on our website. And what do we do? It's very interesting, guys. So, Webinar Radio, we celebrate culture and we promote integration. We have information about different aspects when it comes to living in Ireland and when it comes to moving to Ireland. You can have a look on our website. We have information about visas, housing. We have information about other sections as well that we might cover in our upcoming webinars. Then we have information about interesting things to do when you are in Ireland, and you can find loads of things to do here. You can have information about all different attractions. So if you are ready to spend some good weekends, you can take guides from our website, where you have to go, what you have to do. There are certain activities that you can do. Where you can enjoy the live music. If you are someone who is interested in history, Ireland has loads of museums.
That is true. And also, when you browse through the website, you can find related articles which are updated for the information that we provide, that whether you're looking for a place to visit, as Ifti had said, or you're looking for what's happening recently, what are the changes, whether it's about the COVID or post-COVID or anything that's going to help you all, everything is being updated on the website, and it leads you to a direction. And we have an important question here. Okay, so the question is viewing important, or we should believe Facebook groups? That's a good question again, Maitri. Viewings are important, obviously, as I had mentioned. So there is an assurity that, that the place is genuine. I mean, it's really important to emphasize on this fact that when it comes to viewing, whether it's on a group, or what you can do, okay, I would just give you a personal advice. So what you could do is, you can go through the post. With the look of it, you can tell whether it's a genuine advertisement or not. And to confirm, it's always appropriate to physically go and view the place, and make sure that, okay, the pictures which are uploaded on the social media platform are relevant and same. It's not going to be different from the posted advertisement. And also that all the things are clear to you. So for example, if the electricity and other amenities and things like laundry and then there's one more aspect that people look for, the bike storage, so you can store your bikes. All of these facilities are included or not, if the ad is exactly the same. So to confirm that, I mean, viewing is the must. So those you could rely on. I'm not saying you cannot. You should be relying, because it's very helpful. There are these groups and communities which are created on Facebook for the same purpose, where people who are actually looking for a house can directly get through a contact, and they might be helped in the future because of the audience that's in the group. So yeah, as I had said, it is important that way.
So we have another question here. So if my profession is not listed under the critical skills of occupations, is there any other pathway to PR? Yes, if you can still secure a job in Ireland which is not under the critical skills of occupation, you will get a normal work permit. Your employer will sponsor you for a normal work permit, which is stamp 1, and after being on stamp 1 for 5 years, you will get a stamp 4, which is a temporary residency. And then there is a certain period after which you can apply it for a permanent residency. So yeah, there is still a pathway to a permanent residency even if your profession does not fall under the critical skills list. And we actually have I actually put a link in there regarding the critical skills, and we actually have information on our website about it as well. I'll just take you there. So we have information on work permits, critical skills permit, non-EU work permit. So if you just go over here, what type of work permits can the non-EE nationals apply for? So we have a detailed information in this article, and I will just put the link in there in the chat as well for you. Yep, and you can go over the article and read about it. You will find the desired information in this article. Well, we have a very complicated question in here.
Yeah.
I don't know why it appeared here, but I can answer it in a different way. In terms of LGBT laws, Ireland is a very open country. People who are gay or people who are in this stuff, they have no difficulty living in Ireland because the country laws provide protection to them. So Sid, we have 3 more minutes.
Yes. So we are very happy to answer more questions. So please do pop up your questions before we leave. We have time and we are here for you. And we also hope that you are enjoying this conversation that we're having with you. And so please, we're here for you for a couple more minutes.
So meanwhile, I'll just go over our website again. One thing that everyone should check out is the Listen Now section on our website. We play music from all around the world, and you can check it out. And I think we have a question here as well. So Brave Mind has asked, are pubs open in Ireland now? I will just talk about it, and we have an article on it as well, and I'll just put the link in there. The pubs are open in Ireland, but only the pubs who serve food, only those pubs are open in Ireland. You will have to book a table and you'll have to buy a meal as well. You cannot just go in and buy drinks only.
Alright, there's one more question. Hi, I'm an Indian national. How can I look for jobs in Ireland from within India? Alright. Okay, that's a very interesting question. The best source I would suggest is LinkedIn. I mean, it's a networking site to build networks, to get connected with the industry peers and also experts, or employees from different companies, and to interact with them. Networking, as you know, it's really important. You can network. So networking is the right option. And there are other websites also, like Irish Jobs, Indeed, you must have heard about that as well, Glassdoor. I mean, there are many more we can look for. Like in India, we have naukrigulf.com, so you can go on all these types of sites. But if you're looking for Ireland, I mean, these are the mentioned sources which I have mentioned to you. So you could look for all these types of opportunities that you're looking for. So you could work, but you just need to be confirming whether remote working from home is an option available, because the type of question that you had asked us is about whether you can work from India. So that's something that you'll have to check with your future manager or the employer.
So alright guys, we are gonna be here for probably 2 more minutes.
Yeah.
And let's see if we get any questions, we'll answer that and then we'll sign off. I hope you guys liked the webinar. I hope it answered your questions and I hope you guys gained something useful out of it. So yeah, we are waiting for the questions and then we will sign off in a bit.
Thank you, Maitri. Really happy to hear that, and even if she's thanking us, really very happy that you've liked it. Brave Mind is also very happy, really glad to know. So
I guess we'll just sign off from here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening to us,
and we'll be back soon with our webinar, so stay tuned, and we'll be covering different topics, and always we'll be there for assisting you in any possible way.
Yep.
And please go through our website for the recent updates and the types of information that you're looking for, as we have the vision, as I mentioned, that we are here to get recognized as well as to update everyone possible. And the link is the website link is posted on the chat again for your reference, so you could just go on and browse through it.
Alright guys, thank you so much.
So thanks a lot. See you.
Have a good evening, everyone. Take
Cheers.
care. Cheers.
Bye bye.